Doctor and relentless Trump supporter Kelly Ward, who created controversy this week by claiming that the announcement that Senator John McCain was discontinuing treatment was timed to hurt her campaign. And then you have former Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who was pardoned by President Trump a year ago. Casey Hunt is NBC's Capitol Hill correspondent, and she is in Scottsdale, Arizona today. I know you have been following this race very closely. Lay it out for us, Casey.
Chris, the symbolism here, really, the contrast could not be any starker. You have Jeff Flake choosing to leave the public stage and, of course, John McCain passing away. Both of those men critics of this president. But the reality is that the ground has shifted dramatically underneath them here in Arizona. And if this race is showing us anything, it's that the Republican Party is being molded in Trump's image. In the heated Arizona battle to replace the most anti-Trump Republican senator, the biggest question in the primary is who's the Trumpiest?
I think the most important thing is that I support President Trump, and I always have.
I will be with the president to the end, period.
Now I'm working with President Trump to secure our border and keep Arizona families safe.
The three Republicans vying for the nomination to replace retiring Senator Jeff Flake, trampling the legacy of the late John McCain along the way.
I want to first and foremost set the record straight.
State Senator Kelly Ward forced to apologize after she suggested in a Facebook post that McCain's family decided to announce he was stopping medical treatment just days before the primary, specifically to hurt her campaign.
I do understand how many could have misconstrued my comments as insensitive, and for this, I apologize.
Then there's the anti-immigrant Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who was pardoned by President Trump.
Do you think John McCain was a patriot?
Yes.
A hero?
That's hard for me to answer.
Why?
You know why? Because I never had a hero in my life until several months ago. I woke up, and after 75 years, I found my hero. You know who that person is? Donald Trump.
Polls show Arpaio and Ward trailing establishment favorite Martha McSally, an Air Force veteran.
Let's go fly, fight, and win.
Back in 2016, she tweeted about the Access Hollywood tape.
Hello, how are you?
Writing, "I'm appalled." But now, running statewide in the primary, the president is a different story.
Martha McSally, she's the real deal. She's tough.
Like our president, I'm tired of PC politicians and their BS excuses.
McSally has avoided tying herself to McCain, a move the New York Times reports has infuriated the late senator's family. And she certainly hasn't embraced Flake. Even he knows his endorsement would be toxic.
Nobody would be asking for it in the Republican primary, I can tell you that.
With a poll this summer showing 84% of Republican voters in Arizona approve of the job that Trump's doing.
He's helping jobs and the economy. Now, he doesn't do it in a way that people expect.
I think he's accomplished a great deal. I wish he'd stop tweeting, and I wish he wouldn't use bad language.
The Republican Party doesn't have much room for Trump critics anymore. And of course, the senator from Arizona, Jeff Flake, was on our air just earlier this morning talking about what the realities of this might mean, which is to say that Republicans are not reaching out to different demographics, he said, in this state, and that might ultimately consign them to go the way of the Whig Party. Those were Jeff Flake's words. But this, Chris, in the general election, if Martha McSally does pull this out, it's going to be a very, very close race, and it's going to be a test of the overall national narratives that we talk about every day, whether the president is energizing Democratic voters to the point that it makes a real difference on the ground, and that Republicans, frankly, lose ground with voters that previously they were able to win over if they had a particularly strong candidate. Of course, that does, again, presume that McSally pulls this out, because I think there are a lot of Republicans who believe that if Arpaio or Ward were to win this race, they would have a really tough time against Democratic Kyrsten Sinema in the fall.
Yeah, thank you so much. Fascinating stuff. It's going to be a long day for you. Joining me now to talk about it, Caitlin Huey-Burns, political reporter for